Imagine this. You just got the promotion you've been grinding for. You open the offer letter and there it is, $50,000 a year. For a fleeting moment, you feel like you finally made it. You text your parents, you buy the name brand coffee creamer to celebrate, and you genuinely believe you've crossed the threshold into real, stable adult financial security. But fast forward 6 months, you're sitting in your car in a grocery store parking lot at 8 p.m., furiously tapping on your phone's calculator. You are trying to figure out if you can afford to buy chicken and fresh vegetables this week without triggering a $35 overdraft fee. Your checking account is gasping for air, your credit card balance is quietly creeping up, and you feel more financially stressed than you did before the promotion. You aren't going crazy. You have just entered the most dangerous, predatory financial zone in the modern economy. My name is Rose, and today we are going to completely deconstruct the $50,000 salary trap. I am going to show you how earning $50,000 puts you in a bizarre financial purgatory, where you earn too much to qualify for any societal assistance, but too little to actually build meaningful wealth. We are going to expose the shocking Federal Reserve data that explains why you are drowning in debt. And most importantly, I'll give you the exact escape plan to break out of this mirage. Let's start by destroying the biggest illusion of them all, the paycheck mirage. When you see a $50,000 salary, your brain runs a very simple, optimistic calculation. 50,000 divided by 12 equals $4,166 a month. You immediately start planning your life, your apartment, and your car around having over $4,000 a month to play with. But you will never see $4,166. By the time the federal government, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare take their cut, your actual take-home pay is roughly $3,316. Right off the bat, over $800 a month has vanished into thin air. Now, let's look at what happens when that $3,316 meets the reality of modern survival. A decent one-bedroom apartment is going to run you about $1,150. You need a reliable car to get to this professional job, so there goes $420 for a car payment, plus $195 for insurance and $160 for gas. You need to eat, which is a conservative $350 for groceries. Add in student loans at $283, essential utilities at $240, and your portion of health insurance at $340. Do the math, you are left with exactly $178 for the entire month. That is less than $6 a day. That $178 is supposed to cover clothing, toiletries, medical copays, birthday gifts, and the basic psychological need to occasionally leave your apartment and participate in human society. Notice what isn't in that budget: savings, investing, wealth building. You are making $50,000 a year, and you have virtually zero buffer. Because you have a $178 buffer, it is a mathematical certainty that you will eventually run out of money. And this is where the system stops helping you and starts hunting you. When you make $50,000, society views you as successful. The banks look at your income and happily approve you for $15,000 in credit limits. You are caught in a brutal middle-class squeeze. Here is a statistic that should completely shatter how you view the middle class. Federal Reserve data reveals that 57 to 61% of middle-income households carry revolving credit card debt. Do you know what percentage of high-income households carry a balance? 26%. What about low-income households? 28%. You read that right. The middle-income bracket carries double the credit card debt of the people above and below them. You are trapped in the debt sandwich. Why? Because wealthy people don't need credit cards for emergencies. They have cash. Low-income earners typically can't qualify for massive credit limits. But the $50,000 earner, you qualify for the credit, but you don't have the cash buffer. So when your car needs $580 for new tires, or your cat needs a $340 emergency vet visit, it goes straight onto plastic. You use that credit card to fill the gap between your survival and your paycheck, promising yourself you'll pay it off next month. But at 50K a year, next month never has any extra money either. You develop skills that have absolutely no value outside of poverty management. You can mentally calculate the exact number of days until your next paycheck while standing in the checkout line. You memorize the happy hour schedules for every city in your residence because a $3 taco on a Tuesday is your only shot at socializing this month. You invent phrases like, "Let me check my schedule," when friends invite you out, which is really just a polite translation for, "I am terrified to look at my bank account right now." You turn being broke into a philosophical lifestyle choice because admitting you're struggling on a $50,000 salary feels deeply embarrassing. After all, you're supposed to be doing fine. And here is the ultimate insult, the success penalty. Because you make $50,000, you are entirely locked out of societal safety nets. If you were making slightly less, you might qualify for massive health insurance subsidies, but at 50K, those phase out, causing your premiums to spike. You might have a friend making $48,000 who gets the child tax credit and other assistance, meaning their actual take-home cash at the end of the year is higher than yours. You got a raise, you worked harder, but the tax code ensures you keep less of it. Let's get one thing straight. You are not failing at money. The number $50,000 is failing you. In 1990, a $50,000 salary had the purchasing power of roughly $124,000 today. 60% of your money's value has simply evaporated over 3 decades. In 1990, the median home cost 1.6 times a $50,000 salary. Today, the median home is over $400,000, which is more than 8 times your salary. You feel broke because you are broke in modern purchasing power terms. You are trying to live a 1990s middle-class lifestyle on an income that hasn't kept up with the explosive cost of housing, healthcare, and education. So how do you escape the purgatory of the $50,000 salary? You have to fundamentally rebel against the lifestyle society expects you to live. You have to implement 3 ruthless strategies. Strategy number 1, the fake demotion. You make $50,000, but you need to immediately restructure your life to act like you make $38,000. I know that sounds painful, but it is the only way to manufacture the buffer you desperately need. This means finding rent for $900 instead of $1,225. It means ditching the financed car and driving a paid-off, reliable, older vehicle. It means keeping only 1 streaming service instead of 4. That $12,000 difference between living like you make $50K and living like you make $38K, that goes straight to investments. Over 10 years at a 7% return, that fake demotion transforms into $167,000 of actual wealth. That is the difference between being trapped in an endless cycle of payments and actually buying your freedom. Strategy number 2, the kill switch. When you make $50,000, banks will happily approve you for car loans and mortgages that will suffocate you, so you must use the kill switch. Whenever a lender tells you what monthly payment you are approved for, multiply that number by 0.6. If the bank approves you for a $748 car payment, multiply by 0.6. Your real limit is $449. If that number isn't comfortable, you cannot afford the car. The bank's math is based on extracting maximum interest while ensuring you just barely survive. Your math must be based on thriving. Strategy number 3, the 5-year rule. Before you commit to any major monthly payment, calculate what that payment would be worth if invested for 5 years at 7%. If you're thinking about a $420 car payment, realize that over 5 years, that money invested becomes $30,000. You are no longer choosing between a nice car and nothing. You are choosing between a car and $30,000 in cold, hard wealth. When you frame it like that, the status symbols lose their appeal very quickly. The $50,000 trap is a mirage designed to make you feel successful enough to take on debt, but poor enough to stay dependent on your next paycheck. It's the income bracket where you are expected to look the part of a thriving professional, funding an Instagram-worthy life on a budget that requires absolute perfection just to break even. But you don't have to play their game. You can choose to step off the treadmill. You can choose to look broke to your friends, to live in a smaller place, and to drive a boring car, while secretly stacking cash and building an impenetrable financial fortress. You can either live like you make $50,000 and stay perpetually stressed, or you can live like you make less, build real wealth, and eventually buy your way out of the trap altogether. If this video opened your eyes to the reality of the middle-class squeeze, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment down below and tell me, what is the one fake demotion cut you are going to make this month to buy back your freedom? I'll see you in the next one.